the May 12, 2020 meeting of the Inland Wetlands Commission to order at 7:04 p.m. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, this meeting is being held electronically using a teleconferencing application called Zoom. So we're operating under the following procedures. This session is being recorded both for audio and visual content and is under the control of a Zoom host. I'm going to check with our coordinator. Are we hitting the record button already, or is it?
Yes, George, it's recording.
I just want to verify. Thank you.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
It's visual, and it's under our host who's out there. To ensure sound quality, the default rule for this meeting is that everyone will remain on mute. Commissioners and staff will generally remain on mute except when speaking or voting, and will generally be keeping video of themselves on throughout the meeting. Applicants and members of the public should feel free to leave their video on or off. However, they'll be asked to turn off their video when speaking. They'll be asked to turn on their video when speaking, of course. If video is not available for you, you'll not be precluded from speaking at the appropriate time and may listen to the meeting. During this meeting, everyone is asked to state their name each and every time they speak. Please use the raise your hand feature and let me and the host of this meeting know that you've raised your hand to speak. Members of the public may only speak during the portion of the agenda established for citizens' comments on agenda items. For individuals representing applicants, permittees, and violators listed in the agenda and their representatives, if you are speaking at this meeting and have a document to submit to the Commission, which was not distributed in advance of the meeting with the rest of the materials, please indicate that you wish to submit the document. You'll need to hold it up to the camera so that the Commission and all members of the public may view it. In addition, you'll be required to email an electronic version of the document in PDF format or take a photograph of it and email it to the Wetlands agent at the email address, and I'll list it. It's Wetlands, WETLANDS, @Thompson, THOMPSONCT.org. She will include it in the permanent records of the Commission. That'll be our Wetlands agent, Marla Butts. If a member of the public tries to communicate outside of the citizens' comments or agenda items portion of the meeting, or if any person creates an audio or video disruption, they may be manually ejected by the Zoom host from the meeting upon my request. All right, I covered those points. It is now time for the roll call. So, roll call. Fran? Where's Fran? Fran, you have to turn your mic on.
Fran Morano, Commissioner.
Fran, keep. Barbara?
Barbara Roach, alternate.
Charles?
Yes.
Okay,
Here,
Charles.
present.
Diane?
Charlie Obert, Commissioner.
Okay.
Diane Chapin, Commissioner.
George O'Neill, Commissioner. I would like to point out that we have yet to conduct an election of the officers, and I ask for a motion to add the election of officers to agenda item under other business. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we add the election of officers to the agenda under other business.
I second that motion.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Please, we'll note that and conduct that election under other business. Moving on to the agenda item, action on minutes of previous meeting, which was distributed. Are there any amendments, changes, or revisions to the prior minutes?
I could find none. Make a motion that we accept them.
Second that motion.
Any opposition? With none, the minutes will stand as recorded. Citizens' comments on agenda items. Now remember, everyone, that if you have a question or you have a comment, you need to use the features I described and raise your hand. And I know it may not be something you're familiar with, so we'll give you a little time here to get find your way to the hand feature and, you know, raise it. I see we have 23 participants.
George,
Yes.
just a procedural point. Do you need to appoint me as an alternate?
That's a great question.
Marla Butts speaking. Yes, that would be useful because you need to have at least 4. You can have 5.
Right.
So with Barbara on board, that makes 5. So you
Right.
can appoint her, George.
So, okay, we'll appoint Barbara as an alternate. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions? I didn't see any hands go up here. All right, then, let's move on to the applications, old applications. The first we have is WAA 20004, Richard T. Audette, 50 Wrightson Drive, Assessors Map 143, Block 17, Lot 18. Construction of a 20 by 24 shed on piers in the 100-foot upland review area for aquatic reservoir stamped, received by the town clerk on 2/5/2020. Marla, where does this stand?
Okay, Marla Butts speaking. Mr. Audette had, as you have in the packet, applied for a shed. He accompanied that with some photographs of the shed. This was a site that Charlie Aubert and I went out to and looked at, and there were some concerns about the steepness of the bank that went down to Aquatic Reservoir, as well as there appeared to be a lot of land disturbance already there where the shed was going to be and in front of the house. And it looked like there had been a new septic tank cover. So the question was raised, where is the septic system in relation to where this shed on piers is going to go? And how is he going to handle the runoff water from the roof? Because it could potentially cause erosion of this very steep bank. Today, you have seen that I have a communication with the health department. They have no records for where the leaching field is. They attempted to go out and see the site. Sherry, the sanitarian, she was told by Mr. Audette that they had only cut some trees down in the front lawn, and then that's why the land was disturbed, and that they had pressure washed the cover, that the septic tank had not been replaced. But she could not confirm the location of the leaching field. So at this juncture, the application, while it was stamped in February, there's additional time under the governor's executive orders to process this. It's my intention to send a letter by certified mail to Mr. Audette asking him to provide information regarding the location of the leaching field to ensure that his peers were not going to cut into that leaching field, and inquire about how he intends to handle the runoff water from the roof, because apparently dry wells will not be appropriate to the closeness of the septic tank, at least. And then depending on his response, I can determine whether or not I will be denying the application for insufficient information. And then he would have a right to appeal that denial after the legal notice was published to the commission in accordance with the regulations in the state statute. So at this juncture, it's still on hold, and I need to send correspondence out to Mr. Audette asking him to provide that additional information.
Okay, so what action, do you have a proposal, a draft of this correspondence? And are there any discussion?
Not at this time. I'll inform you at the next meeting what the action happens on it. There's no action required by you at this time, unless you have some questions or concerns as to how you want me to address it.
I see. So I pulled up a Google Earth version of this just to put it in perspective. Any of the commissioners have any questions or comments or for the agent?
I would say as a comment that the area where they want to put the shed is to the left of that red marker. And in that same area, right in front of the, yeah, there. And in that same area, just at the corner of the house, I believe is where the cap for the septic tank is. And it looks like you can see it on there, a white spot anyway,
Right
at
there?
the lower left, right there.
Yeah.
So, yes, we were concerned that the runoff would be a factor. We were concerned about how they could handle the what was coming off of the roof and not letting it run down the steep bank. And so we shared those things with them. The issue of the septic tank and leach field is certainly one that might be just a bit beyond our normal scope to be able to address because it goes through the Department of Health. But the impact on the reservoir could be significant if they are out of standards.
Let's see.
Marla Butt speaking. George, you'll note in the documents that were submitted to the commission, there is a well drilling report. Mr. Audette had the well drilled in, I believe it was 2004 or 2002. That's located to the north of the property, and it shows the septic field. If you scroll down, next page down, you'll see the well driller's report, and the well driller's report actually shows the location of the well and the septic.
Is this on the same
A couple
document
more
I'm on
pages
here?
down.
Oh, come more down. Okay,
Yep.
sorry.
Keep going down. Yep, that's okay. Keep going. That's the application showing the location of the piers and the shed. It's a fairly large shed.
Okay, so
What
is
we
that-
did note, by the way, is that step that you see going into the house, that was built without any building permits. So the cottage was actually enlarged without building permits.
Trying to find the well. Is this part of the well though? This isn't the well.
Keep going down.
That's the bottom.
No. That's still pictures of where the rear of the
I think it's
closest
a
to the
separate.
lake where the back of the shed would be.
Right, this is George O'Neill. I believe there's no
Scroll
document.
down.
Yeah, I
through
can't
the-
scroll any further, so I think we have to
Just
get
go-
to the. There's
If,
another
Excuse me.
document.
oh, I thought you had
George,
the
this is Charlie Over.
truncated one that I posted.
The title on the tab that I have says 50 rights and drive. There you go. That's it.
Yeah. Is that the
Now,
right
if you
one?
scroll down just a little bit, there you'll see, whoop, you've already passed it. There. You can see where it shows the septic tank and then 60 feet to the well.
Ah,
And it's going vertical or perpendicular instead of horizontal. But the lake is off to the left-hand side of that drawing, and then you come to the house, and then you come to the septic. Now, if you'll scroll down on the page below that, there it says, I guess it says house. I don't know where the septic tank is, unless it's underneath, if the leach field, can it be under the house? I don't know if that.
Marla Butt speaking. They don't know, and that's the question. Where is the leach field?
well, if that's the septic, and here's your house, and here's your lake, and this is George O'Neill, and we look at our other video there, I think we'll find it. It's over here to the left somewhere, right?
That's
the-
where the shed is proposed to be.
Yeah. The Google Earth, here's the Google Earth version. If you can see that, is that on there? There it is.
I can't determine by that.
So here's another version of it, right? And here's something. Here's a boat, and here's the house.
Marla Butt speaking, the white dot in the front is the cap to the septic tank. That is the septic tank cap.
Which sort of it seems to be, you know, somewhat proximate to the on the application layout.
I agree.
All right.
So I will send a letter to Mr. Audette requesting that additional information and see if we can get that in before next meeting.
All right. Okay. No other discussion on old applications. Let's move on to new applications. We've got WAA 20009, Hallett T. Merrick, 0 Plum Road, Assessors Map 85, Block 52, Lot 12, construction of a single-family home, septic system, and portion of home proposed in 100-foot upland review area, stamped received by Town Clerk's Office 4/13/2020.
All about speaking. If you move down past the application, in that PDF, #1 PDF file that I posted with the agenda, you'll find a letter from the building department that has been signed by the building official, the public works director, and the zoning enforcement officer. Apparently, the portion of Plum Road that he wants to get a driveway permit for is unimproved. And he's being required to improve the portions of Plum Road in order to build this house. And there's a lot of work that he has to do in order to get to that. I have sent him a letter, and you have a copy in the PDF file that was posted with the agenda, dated May 4th. And I have asked him for additional information, a full-scale drawing signed and sealed by a professional engineer licensed to practice in Connecticut, with erosion control measures identified to prevent the unnecessary siltation of nearby wetlands during construction. The copy that was submitted was only a photocopy of a plan that was done in 2016, and it didn't show any erosion and sediment controls. And I also wanted a copy of the Northeast District Department of Health's letter approving the design of the septic system that is located within the 100-foot upland review area. And I've asked him to provide that by July 1. And if for some reason he can't provide it by then he needs to let me know why. On the condition that no activities can occur within the 100-foot upland review area until a driveway permit is issued under Town Ordinance 10053 in the Thompson Code of Ordinances.
I see. So there wasn't a lot of graphics associated. Is this the?
Oh, there's quite a bit of graphics as
Yeah,
you
here's the
scroll
graphics.
down.
Yeah. Okay. So here's Plum Road. Any points that you want to bring to attention to on this, Marla? On the graphic?
Marla Butt speaking. Not at this time. It's there for your benefit,
Okay.
but not for your action.
All right. So this is aware. Any comments by commissioners?
Charlie over here. I was looking on the map geo, and I think I was looking on the wrong side of Plum Road. I knew the general area, but I was looking at the area opposite of that, which does have a stream on it. So based on what I'm seeing here now, I don't have any more questions.
Okay. Any other commissioner comments? No action is required at this time. This was to bring us to our attention. All right, then we can move on to the next item. This is the second document. It's Plum Road. This will be DEC 20010, Valerie Clark, 0 Alms Road, 2 lots, Assessors Map 120, Block 18, lots 1 and 1A, timber harvest received for 2720. I'm trying to get to Clark here. So that's the other document, right? I'll find that document. Just give me a minute.
Marla speaking. This is a simple, straightforward timber harvest, ones that you have historically approved in the past. This is near the Speedway, just south of the Speedway, and you should have in the scan a location using map geo showing the 2 properties that are going to be under the timber harvest, and it's pretty straightforward. It doesn't really have much for regulated activities that I could see, but they wanted to submit it anyways just to get clearance.
Is
Excuse
this
me,
the right one?
It's
So
Amy
this would-
St. Sorry to interrupt, but we're not seeing anything on the screen. Is anybody else
Oh,
having that
wait a
problem?
minute. Let me see if I've got the right thing selected. Hold on. Thompson. Let's go back.
Let me try it again.
Yeah, I'm going to recycle it here. How's that?
That's not the same as what I've got. That looks like your desktop.
Oh, we don't want that. Let's get to the other document.
It's called DEC 20010.
Try this one more time. Screen 2. How's that? Is that what you want?
Maybe.
Nothing there, George. There it is. Now
Okay.
it's there.
Yeah, it looks good.
Sorry.
So if you scroll down 3 pages, you'll start to see the maps.
There's
Yeah.
one.
And that's the area where the timber is to be harvested, Marla?
That's
The
correct.
Next page down, George, shows a little bit more detail there about some wetlands with bridges or crossings. And those are seasonal crossings, needed only on seasonal basis, Marla?
That's correct.
Okay. When do they want to do this?
According to the documentation, their start date was, let's see, what do they say? Oh, it's a salvage cut, June of this year, and to be completed by June of next year. Harvesting 32 acres for a salvage cut and timber stand improvement. Apparently, there was a lot of gypsy moth damage,
Yeah.
and they want to remove the poor quality hardwood. This would require a motion to approve it as a use permitted as of right under agriculture.
Do we have a motion? Or is there further discussion?
I just don't know the history as to how wet those wetlands would be if we had a couple of days of heavy rain. Would they have to? Could we ask that they not cross those areas if it's very muddy? Could I make a motion to approve it with the proviso that in the event of heavy rain, they curtail the activities?
Marla Butt speaking. Usually these are approved as they stand, and if
Yeah, I agree. And I don't think that I remember any that struck me as a potential. Usually I think they, more often than not, they happen over late fall and into the winter months. That's my recollection off the top of my head.
that's correct. They knew they got started late this year for harvest, which is why I think they're carrying it over into next winter,
Okay.
through next winter, excuse me.
It makes sense to get the dead wood out of there before we have a fire hazard, but yeah, I would prefer not to have them driving heavy equipment through that wetland area if we have extended rain. It looks like they got enough other
Marla
areas
Butts.
that they could work.
Marla Butt speaking. I can send a cover letter when I send the copy of the signed version to them, indicating your concerns and request that they cease any work prior to any heavy rains.
Or in the event of heavy rain.
This is Barb Roach.
In the event of heavy rain.
Barbara?
On page 2 of the application, the description is harvesting operations to be conducted in dry or frozen conditions.
Oh, so they might cut the trees
there.
down but not drag them out. Well, I'll make a motion that we approve it. I would feel better if there was a cover letter that just expressed our concerns. I'm not necessarily going to make that as a provision of the motion, but a kind of a request. And I don't know if that's, according to Robert's rules, if that's acceptable.
Marla Butt speaking. I can attach a letter to the under my signature when I forward a copy of the approval, should you choose to give one.
Okay, the motion has been made.
Do we have a second?
This is Diane. I'll second it.
Okay, the motion is made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
So we have Francesca, Barbara, and Charlie with an aye. So the motion
That's
carries,
majority.
majority.
Motion. How about Barbara? Did she cast a vote? I mean, she's eligible.
She's on mute.
Okay.
I did cast a vote, yes.
I'm sorry, I missed that. Okay, so we have a unanimous agreement and approval. So I guess we'll proceed with that. Issue the harvest permit. Moving on to the next application, IWA 20011 James Jasmine, 518 Brady Hill Road, Assessor's Map 143, Block 16, Lot 37, after the fact application for partial demolition of retaining wall and construction of a new retaining wall on Quadic Reservoir, stamp received, Town Clerk 5/6/2020. So that should be down here as I go down my list. There we go. Is that the right one? Yes. I'm going to scroll through it. It's James Jasmine. Soil types. Any noteworthy points? We also have J&D engineering letter.
Marla Butt speaking. I'd like to give you a little background on this. This property was the subject of a wetlands agent approval for the replacement of a well and septic system. And that was approved back in 2019. Then in this early spring of this year, I received a call from Mr. Jasmine. He wanted to replace the foundation underneath the house. It was, if you look at the photographs that he supplied with his application, you see the photographs from 2018. You can see that the cottage had a cinder block foundation, and he said that that was in bad shape and needed to be replaced. And he asked if I could modify the wetlands agent approval to include the replacement of the foundation. I asked him to send me some photographs. He sent me some photographs of the foundation, and while looking at the foundation, I noticed that there appeared to be a new retaining wall, what appeared to be a new structure along the water's edge. I did grant him the extension or the modification of the wetlands agent approval to include the foundation, but then told him he needed to come in with a permit for the retaining wall. Originally, the retaining wall, there had been a poured concrete wall that his father had done. As you can see in the photographs that have been supplied with the application, showed the existing walls. And then the photographs that you see, subsequent page, they show the new wall. And the drawing that was provided by J&B shows that this new wall, which was built waterward of the old wall, actually extends into the lake, appears to be about 4 feet. Now the problem becomes that the pond bottom and the water rights to Aquatic Reservoir are owned by somebody else. They are not owned by the abutting property owner. And the application, I believe Daniel is on your list of people here. He can explain the drawing, but at this point in time, this application is only being received today, officially. And then it can be discussed at further length at the next meeting. The concern that I have is that this wall, new wall, was built on property that is not owned by Mr. Jasmine. The water rights are clearly owned by the DEEP. In the past, DEEP has told me that they are not sure who owns the pond bottom. They weren't sure if they got the pond bottom when they acquired the water rights. So now it becomes problematic because the retaining wall, for the most part, is in the water itself in the reservoir. And when I asked Mr. Jasmine why he did this without any approvals, because he had already had a wetlands agent approval for the well and septic, he said, well, everybody else was doing it.
Oh,
But I have a little problem with that. But so at this juncture, the issue of ownership is going to have to be resolved. And he's going to have to work on that, because I don't personally see how the commission can issue a permit for work in a wetland or water course on somebody else's property. But perhaps this can be resolved by Mr. Jasmine finding who actually owns the pond bottom and getting that permission, or getting approval, or paying for the land that he has taken.
This is George O'Neill. That's a nice looking wall though, compared to what they had before.
Yes.
It's like granite or something capped.
I'm told that perhaps Daniel could better explain. He says it in the report, the engineering report. If you go up from the photographs in the PDF file that you have
Right,
there,
I have it, yeah.
there is a report that he's.
Is this the report, May 4th? Signed,
Yes.
Daniel Blanchette. So do we need additional information from Danielle to comment on this?
It's pretty straightforward what he has written. But right now you're just receiving the application. You can't render a decision on it in any case, for at least another 30 days. And perhaps by that time, Mr. Jasmine will have some answers regarding the ownership where the wall now sits.
Right, there's a note referencing legal issues in the latter portion of the last paragraph here. And here.
Yes, the last couple of sentences state, from a legal standpoint, however, there is a concern that the retaining wall is not located on your property. Using the Class A2 survey, a boundary survey recently performed by Archer Surveying, J&D estimates this new wall encroaches into the lake by approximately 4 feet. Additionally, the northern end of the wall encroaches into the public right-of-way and the boat launch by approximately 6 feet. Please see the attached survey plan for more information. you may want to consult with a lawyer who can advise you on property boundary encroachments.
Okay. Additional questions, commissioners?
A 1,000 of them, but we have to wait for this, what Marla's going to do next, for the landowner to get a jurisdiction on the rights of the property.
Okay. All right then. No further discussion on this point. We'll move on to the next application. It's WAA 20012 J&J Construction, 484 and 486 Quacktown Farm Road, Assessors Map 158, Block 20, lots 8I and 8J, earth excavation and grading, future residential development. Stamp received by Town Clerk 5/6/2020. If possible, if you're not speaking, please put your speakers on mute because I hear a lot of background noise there. All right. So, do I have to say it over or did everyone get it? JJ Construction, 46 Quacktown Farm Road, Assessors Map 158, Block 20, lots 8I and 8J, earth excavating and grading for future residential development, stamped received by Town Clerk 5/6/2020. So let's go to that. Okay, let me make this smaller. Okay, here's the lot. Marla, any comments on this? You're on mute.
I'm seeing James Jasmine's site plan. This is the prior application.
I'm
You
sorry.
need to scroll farther down.
Further down.
Get
It's out of sequence.
further down for J and J.
Oh, I had J&J a minute.
Keep
Okay,
going. Keep going. Keep going. Now you got it there. Okay,
Oh, here's the application.
correct.
Okay. Try to center it. Make it larger. All right, so here's the application memo, and we have diagrams, comments. So we have just multiple sizes in the same PDF, so it makes it a little bit more tricky to size it down. Okay.
Marla Butt speaking. So in the processing, logging in this application, I did some research and found that there is no corporation or Secretary of State's recording legal entity for J&J Construction. And I contacted Janet Blanchette, who indicated that the owner who signed the application, Richard DeRocher, would be the applicant. And so she sent me an email, which should be in that packet that was posted on the website, stating to change the name from J&J Construction to Richard DeRocher's. So the name on this application should be Richard DeRocher's. There you have it on your screen and the lower part. That is the copy of the email that I received from Janet Blanchette. In addition to that, I have been advised that revised plans will be coming in that will reduce the scope of the work in the upland review area, that will reduce the amount of information, reduce the amount of work that is required.
So here's the outline of what will be done.
This is not what you have here. The plans that you have here were the original drawings that I received. I'm told that I will be getting revised drawings in the near future. And I'm not exactly sure what it's going to look like. So at this juncture, I wouldn't spend a lot of time on these drawings now. And this is a wetlands agent approval. And unless you want to process it as an application, I'll be looking at it and then bring it back to you at the next meeting if you feel you have some concerns once you see the revised drawings.
Okay. Well, as you
For the
point out,
most part, the work
go ahead.
Go ahead, George.
I was going to say, if we're going to
I was
wait
gonna
for
say-
the, yeah. Oh, I won't say anything. Go ahead, Marla.
All at this point is that I put this before you just so that you know that a wetlands agent approval application has come in, but these are not the plans that I'm expecting to move forward. And then what I have indicated is that I will look forward to any citizens' comments regarding those plans, because this is an application also. The work on these two properties is for a earth excavation or gravel mining operation is before the Planning and Zoning Commission at this time. And they are looking for comment back from the Wetlands Commission before they render their decision. And so they have a public hearing that's scheduled for the zoning permit for this. And I expect that whatever concerns there are that are raised that relate to wetlands or watercourses would have to be included in any revised drawings that I receive. So at this juncture, there is not really a whole lot that the commission should be doing, just being made aware that this application is pending and that there are changes to be forthcoming. And I will keep you informed of any changes that occur in the plans. And if you wish, I can post them, have them posted online, if that is of assistance to you and the public.
Hey, George O'Neill, then any commissioners have comments or questions for these? I guess the plans that were submitted are going to be changed, and as a result, there's nothing really, not have to wait until what they plan to do comes forward, right?
I have a question. I don't know. I raised my hand. I don't know if you can hear me. Marla, is this the same property that you and I have gone out to a couple of times?
Yes, it is, Charlie.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. I guess we'll await the revised plans and we'll move forward. So the next item would be applications received after the agenda was published.
There, Marla Buck speaking. There is one. It's an application for a single-family home on Lot 9 of Madison Avenue. That was Madison Avenue Investments, LLC. It's a wetlands agent approval. It's I haven't even had a chance to review it, but it's most likely going to be approvable as with most of those sites that are up on Madison Avenue. They have very little work in the upland review area. So that will probably, you'll probably be informed of it next month that I've issued a wetlands agent approval for this lot, but I haven't had a chance to really look at it yet.
All right. Of course, the public has copies of all these which are on the internet, so you don't have to be limited by my document handling skills. There's different sizes on each one of these PDFs, so I have to zoom in and zoom out. All right, so this is still the same application. All right. So there's nothing else, so at this point, you're going to wait the rest of the submission and review? Marla?
For Madison Avenue,
Yes.
I will give Ashley the information to put in the minutes as to the assessor's reference, and it's for a single-family home with some work in the upland review area for Lot 9 of the Madison Avenue subdivision.
Okay. Any questions or comments by commissioners? All right, no comments. We'll move on to the next item, which is permit extensions and changes. The first request here is IWA 15004 Frog Rock LLC, 0 Sunset Hill Road, Assessors Map 103, Block 40, Lot 3E, request for a 6-month extension of permit for construction of a driveway from Sunset Hill Road across wetlands, watercourses for existing residents that is currently accessed through 36 Terrace Drive, stamped received 3/30/2020. So, is this in sequence? Is this the one?
Yeah, no, that's not it. Scroll down. That's
Oh, there we
Madison
go.
Avenue.
Okay, here we go. Is this it here? Frog Rock.
Keep moving down. I'm still seeing Madison Avenue. There we go. Okay, if you scroll down one more page, this is it. This is the original approval. It expired on April 14th, 2020. You've gone too far. And the request for extension came in before the permit expired, but then there was no meeting in April. My recommendation is that you grant the extension, albeit late, only because the commission, because of the coronavirus pandemic, couldn't process this request in a timely fashion. And he's only asking for 6 months, and I've had no issues out there. I've had no complaints. This is one where we did a site walk off of Sunset Hill Road. It was a long walk through the woods going up to the old carriage house for the Thompson Manor. That's too far.
I've not moved anything.
Josie.
So,
Oh, I'm seeing Josie on my screen.
does everyone else, does anyone see the letter? Charlie,
I
what do you
saw it
think?
before.
Yeah, I see the
I
letter.
see a letter on Town of Thompson letterhead.
Yeah, is that the letter you're referring to, Marla?
No,
No, it's a piece of
It's Scott Josie's
stationery.
letter.
The stationery is yellow colored stationery dated March 30th. And it's got a kind of English there, that.
Yeah,
there you
okay.
go.
Is that, okay, that's the one you want. All right.
And then down below that, you'll see the picture, the aerial view of 395 and Sunset Hill Road. I do remember walking through the woods out there. Oh, yours is in a little bit different order than mine, but
Yeah, I'm just going through the sequence of the PDF. So here's the
okay.
photo, aerial photo, maybe,
Yes,
and there's a line. Can you see that, Marla?
it's got a pencil drawn
that's
or
the
a pen
driveway.
drawn line on there.
Proposed driveway.
Right.
Holy shit.
My recommendation is that you grant a 6-month approval for the permit to be extended by 6 months from April 14th, 2020.
So do we
I
have
make
a
a
motion?
motion that we extend, I make a motion that we extend the permit for 6 months.
Do we have a second?
I second it, Barb Roach.
Bob Roach? We have motion and second. All those in favor?
I,
No opposition, and I guess we already had no further discussion. The motion carries. And the extension, the permit is extended for the 6-month period. Okay. Let's move on to the next item, which is I show as active wet violations and pending enforcement actions. Cease and restore order violation 20003, Scott Josie, 637 East Thompson Road, Assessors Map 154, Block 5, Lot 14. Filing of wetlands and work, filling in of wetlands and work within 100-foot upland review area issued 3/5/2020. Hearing and decision 3/10/2020, requiring submission of soil scientist report by 4/21/2020 and work completed by 5/11/2020. So,
Marla Butt speaking. If you scroll down, you'll see the letter that I sent dated March 16th, which is required by state statute notification of the final decision on the cease and restore order. And it states that following the close of the show cause hearing, the Thompson Inland Wetlands Commission provided you with an opportunity to show cause why the cease and restore order violation VIOL 2003 issued on March 5th, 2020. The commission discussed the matter and voted to amend the above referenced order as follows. New, by April 21st, 2020, a report from a qualified soil scientist shall be submitted to the commission for its review, containing information on the extent of wetlands filled and the action to be taken to remediate those wetlands. Number 2, the date of April 1, 2020, as stated in action item number 1, is changed to May 11th, 2020. These are the only amendments to the cease and restore order VIOL 20003 made by the commission, and all other requirements remain in effect. Failure to comply with the provisions of this order will subject you to penalties provided for in section 22A 44 of the Connecticut General Statutes. Subsequent to that letter having been sent by certified mail, I received a voice message from a Roger Gibson. He's a soil scientist out of Sterling, Gibson Environmental Services. And he did not have a copy of the final decision. He was unclear as to exactly what he needed to do. So on April 27th, I sent him an email, and you have, if you scroll down in your PDF file, you'll see the thread lines of the email. It said, "Hi Roger, FYI, attached is a scan of the final decision notification sent to Scott Josie. I expect the Inland Wetland Commission will be holding its regularly scheduled meeting of May 12th, 2020 via Zoom, and expect them to discuss the next actions to be taken by them or me, depending on what they receive in response to the final decision on the cease and restore order. The agenda will be posted on the town's webpage and will contain an invitation link to that meeting. Hopefully, Mr. Josie or you will have forwarded an electronic version of your report by then. Till then, be safe, stay well." And on May, let's see, what date is this? May 10th, I got an email from Mr. Gibson, and he says, "Marla, attached, please find the report as requested. A little slow in getting out due to the stay-at-home orders. I expect to see more impacted wetlands, but the 2 depressional marshes seem to draw down significantly during the summer. Dogwoods were growing in 2 feet of water, which they normally only can be inundated about 25% during the growing season. I believe the restoration is a good compromise. The restoration is not to permit vehicular traffic, and if such, then permits and proper engineered plan would need to be developed and approved." And attached to that is a 3-page document, soil scientist report and recommended restoration. Do you need me to read that for you, or have you read it already?
I don't think we got that.
Commissioners, do you want it read or do you?
No, you have. That was what was posted on the, you may not have gotten it in my initial emails that were sent out on Sunday that I sent to you. This was placed on the website as part of the PDF. And what you're seeing here is on the screen is what comes from the Thompson webpage, what was posted. I'll read the letter, Diane, since you don't remember seeing it. The investigation was at the request of Scott Josie, the homeowner, in response to a March 16, 2020 final order by the Thompson Inland Wetlands and Watercourse Commission to determine the amount of wetlands that were filled and to develop a restoration plan. The site was visited on April 15th and May 5th, 2020. A high-intensity soil delineation was completed consistent with the standards set by the National Cooperative Soil Survey of the United States Department of Agriculture and Natural Resources Conservation Service, NRCS. Connecticut-defined wetlands were delineated as to their drainage classification of poorly drained, very poorly drained, alluvial or floodplain soil types as defined by the Natural Resource Conservation Service. Soils in the upland areas were mainly of Hinckley series and excessively drained soil type of sand and gravel. The access road consists of this type. When saturated during flooding, it can become loose and erodible, as shown in previous exhibit photos of vehicle traffic. The access road lies between two depressional wetlands that hold a significant amount of flood storage capacity. The easterly depressional marsh floods over the access road to the westerly marsh during the spring and recedes up to 2 feet as indicated by the area vegetation and soil types. Soil borings were conducted to determine the depth of recent fill. Borings were completed adjacent to the road fill to determine if wetlands existed across the access road. The access road itself was to previously disturbed to decide. The previous deep rutting in the access road caused ponding within the ill-maintained access. No wetland soils were found at the toe of the access road. Restoration includes removing some of the fill that was placed along the wetlands perimeter as shown in the included photographic log. Restoration also includes managing the stormwater flow across the access road during flooding conditions. It is a non-engineered solution recommended and used by the U.S. Forest Service in such cases, creating a ford. This proposed shallow but wide depressional will permit better managed flow than what previously existing. The failure of the previously used access was mainly due to its wetter conditions. This recommendation is for non-vehicle usage except for ATV usage during dry and firm substrate periods. I have not had a chance to review this in detail. I'm not exactly sure what he's asking for removal, where the fill material would be removed, and what might be in its place, based upon, you have what I have right now. So the option that you have at this point in time, since it's been so wet lately, doing any work to remove anything at this location would cause more problems right now. So any kind of restoration work would have to occur in the summertime or when the groundwater table has dropped. I think what might be of use is to get clarification from Mr. Gibson as to exactly what he is recommending to be done. And that can be done, and I could report back to you at the next meeting if I can get better detail as to what he's exactly suggesting.
I am here online if you want me to describe that.
Ah,
Is that you,
Gibson?
Mr. Gibson?
Yes, I've been here the whole time.
okay.
Oh,
Perhaps we should have
good.
Mr.
Thank you.
Gibson
I'm glad
comment.
you're here.
So perhaps you could explain this and help address those questions, Mr. Gibson.
So in the first photo of a log, the picture there and everything else is what it is today and everything. Water's not managed. And on the right-hand side, it's really a depressional area there. When I looked at the soil borings, as in the next, let me see. Well, actually, I jumped down to photo 3. You could see flags out there on the far left. It says 2-inch fill, and then 8-inch fill, and then 6-inch fill in the middle. I
Right.
bored down with an Hoyle. It was very, let's just say, challenging to do this because the water level was so high that when you go 6 inches into the soil, it becomes flooded. Soil pits, therefore, were useless, and I had to use a wide soil auger in order to, get the sample to look at it properly and let it drain off. It was completely saturated, so each boring had a time to drain off in order to view it for that redoxamorphic features that I look for. I was surprised because even where I have the 8 inches of fill there, I had to go 20 inches before I really saw redox. Generally 12 inches, yes, generally 12 inches below is about the limit and everything else for a hydric soil. So you take 8 from 20 and you get to 12 inches. So that's why I really called it somewhat poorly drained to poorly drained, because it was really transitional area there. But nevertheless, what we're recommending is on the next slide, one
Okay.
below this.
I'll get there. Let's see if I can get rid of
Photo
my,
number 4.
Yes. So number 4 here really shows that the stone that was placed in that area is to be removed. You know, it'll go up to 8 inches and everything else, but that stone all in the transitional wetland area that we see here is to come out. So Mr. Josie knows that we want to get it back to as close as possible to, you know, before the fill was placed there. Now we show that before and everything else, it was all Hinkley soil that was completely saturated. Part of the problem was that large vehicles were using that in the past that would form deep ruts and then pond and everything else in these deep ruts. The road really, the access road needed to be maintained a lot sooner. It should have had come in with an application to you for maintenance on an access road. What we're planning to do, or we're proposing to do, is to remove that 6 to 8 inches fill. It would cut back across that access road, apply some non-woven geotextile, and about 6 inches of compacted gravel on top of it. This is kind of creating a forward situation that during flooding conditions can manage the water and flood over where it should along this area, which is only going to be about 6 inches deep. During drier periods and everything, this compacted gravel and everything else will permit Mr. Josie in the summers to access it with like an all-terrain vehicle or, you know, walking path. But no vehicles should be really used on this road that is currently designed. It is mainly to get it back to the pre-existing conditions as best possible without creating an erosion problem. The slide that you saw 2 up, which would be the second slide, is really, there was fill that was, the road was expanded slightly. Now you can see to the left of that with a little red ribbon is my auger and everything else, soil auger in that picture. A little, yeah, there you go. I even went out that far looking for hydric soils and had a difficult time. A lot of this vegetation, the dogwoods and everything else, was seen between 1 and 2 feet of water. I expect that this would be drawn down in the summer and that we don't get flooding conditions that would exist long enough to get me that redoxymorphic or hydric conditions in the soils to make it a wetland soil. Nevertheless, what we'd like to do is pull this material back that you see along the shrub area, allow them to breathe a little bit better and cut back that slope. So the 2 areas of restoration would be to cut back this slope area and remove the fill and create a swell as shown in figure 4.
Figure 4. Okay, let's get to 4. Otherwise, this thing's going to follow me.
That's the one restoration there.
We're getting there. Hold on. Here we go.
And
We're going to get checked out and operating here. Okay. This
doing
4.
good. Back on figure 4, that area there of the fill of the sand and gravel would be removed.
This is George O'Neill. How deep, you're going to make this about, this depth here will go down, something like this?
Mm-hmm.
And you,
That's correct. In the access road itself, it'll probably be a -6 inches. So really, you know, we'll probably cut it back approximately a foot and then apply the geotextile and then put the washed sand and gravel on top, compact it. This is only done in a drier period, of course, so we can get good compaction.
this is George O'Neill again. So that will help the two areas, the containment area, the water holding area. They'll flow between the 2 wetlands.
Yeah, I'm actually almost treating this one as a detention pond in a way. It fills up and then it has a overflow to the main marsh.
I think the Your engineering comments are helpful in helping and to help us inform the commission. Commissioners, any other question or further questions or clarifications? So this whole
I
area
think
here.
this will-
Go ahead, Charlie.
George, I hope this will be fairly quick. On slide 4, we see your proposed area of restoration, Mr. Gibson. And if I understand correctly, the plan is to dig down deep enough so that the water level should be the same on both sides, and then backfill with gravel that will allow the water in the pond that we see in the near side of that photograph to be able to sort of filtrate or seep down through the gravel. Is that
Go
correct?
this way, like this?
Yeah, it will go from there down, yes. If
Yes.
I'm correct, then I'm wondering, will the finished grade with the gravel be equal to what we're looking at now, or a little
No.
bit lower, or what?
No, it should actually still discharge into the main marsh. I shouldn't see any flow back.
Okay. Okay, I think I understand that. Thank you.
It's actually to be able to manage during a flooding condition, the water from the near pond to the main marsh.
Which is what it was doing normally before people came and started putting a roadway through.
Correct.
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Okay. Any other commissioners with questions?
Check. You fucking muted him. So.
Fran, Barbara, Barb?
No, I'm good, George. Thank you. This is Barb.
All set, thank
So at this point, Marla, what is the recommended, what are our alternatives?
Well, the original order said to remove fill placed in wetlands and within 100 feet of a wetland or water course near a new road. And of course, because you didn't meet last month, these timelines, you'd use your prosecutorial discretion, give him the extra time because you didn't meet last month. So because you modified the order, you said that you were going to base your decision on what the soil scientist said regarding the extent of wetlands filled and the action to be taken to remediate those actions. So Mr. Gibson has indicated to you that the delineation of wetlands actually within the roadway itself, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Gibson, was difficult to identify because of the high water conditions. And that he is recommending certain removal in some areas, and then the establishment of a ford using a geotextile to provide a road stabilization structure covered over with some gravel that would allow the water to communicate between the two areas during high water times, but during dry water times, it would be traversable with an all-terrain vehicle. And then your order also said that within 24 hours of the removal, you shall cause all disturbed soils within 100 feet of the wetlands and watercourses to be seeded and mulched in accordance with the guidelines. So you have before you a report from the soil scientist indicating 2 areas of restoration, modification, and it's up to you to decide if you want to accept that as the way to move forward. And I would think that at this juncture, it's probably appropriate for you to decide if you want to accept the soil scientist report. And then I don't see any timelines in here for the work to be done. And I know Mr. Josie is here in the meeting, and perhaps he can comment on his timeline for conducting this work that has been proposed by Mr. Gibson.
Mr. Josie, you comment?
You need to unmute him.
Unmute. Oh, he can't do it, we have to? All right, who's got the
I
mute
think
control?
you have to.
All right, let me find the mute control.
I spoke to Mr. Josie, and we were looking at, actually, I recommended that the wetlands, this work not be done until the summer when it's in a drier condition.
There we go.
I don't have a mute button here. So someone else, is that Amy maybe?
Okay, does that work?
There you go.
Okay.
You had the button.
Yeah, so like Roger said, probably during the drier time, which is from what I've seen, mid-July to the end of August is usually a safe zone where it's low.
Marla Budd speaking. That's correct. Since the seeding dates don't start, I think, for grass growing in that area before, I think it's August 15th is the start of the seeding dates. So if the commission said that all work had to be completed by September 15th, that should take you through the low flow period of time and give you enough time to stabilize with seed and mulch to get some grass cover in there before winter.
Correct. I'm going to work with Roger and, you know, as far as what material, you know, the stone, and work with him on that.
So do you have a date certain that's planned to
So,
complete it?
George, what I was going to say,
Yes, go ahead.
who's talking? I was going to say that what the commission needs to do is they need to decide to approve, if they want to approve the implementation of this plan, including all ground stabilization by September 15th of 2020. That would be appropriate.
I'll make a motion that we approve the plans as presented tonight to that timeline up to September.
I'll second that motion.
Can we have it
What
seconded?
date in September?
What was it, September 20th that you said?
15th. September 15th.
September 15th.
So we have a motion and it was seconded. Do we have any discussion, further discussion on this point? I would like to comment and say that it's really important that, you know, we've got the scientist recommendation, we've got a plan in before us, and, you know, we've worked with the applicant over a number of months to discuss the issues. I think it's important that, you know, this matter be, you know, brought to a conclusion, and it seems like a reasonable and, you know, fairly modest correction. So that's my observation. So without any other, if there's other discussion, please bring it forward. If not, then let's have a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I hear all in the affirmative, and there being no opposition, I have to frame this properly, but all the work has to be done by September 15th as outlined in the plan. Would that be sufficient for your needs, Marla?
Yes. I will send follow-up correspondence, for, you know, confirming your decision tonight.
All right then. This matter is, the plan is approved, and it's, we'll memorialize it with the wetland agent's letter.
Thank you, George. I appreciate it.
Okay. All right, let's move on. We have other business, and we have the approval of bylaw revisions. And that's next.
I've read through them and I think that they're correct according to what we looked at. Was it January that we looked through these? I don't see any further corrections or updates, and I would make a motion that we approve them as presented.
There's a motion. Do we have a second?
This is Diane, I'll second.
Diane seconded it. Discussion? No objections and no discussion. We'll have a vote. All those in favor? I'm sorry.
Aye.
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 No objections. The revisions as discussed in March 10th have been approved. Now, another item that was added to the other business was the election of officers for this commission. And I think I've only been to one of these. So, Marl, how do we normally do this? Do you just sort of ask for volunteers or what? Or Commissioner?
I'll make a motion that we carry over the same slate of officers for one more year. Nominations. Make a motion, we close nominations.
I'd second that.
I heard a second. Who was seconding?
Diane.
Diane. Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, we'll have a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
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 And no opposition. The motion carried. The slate of officers will be carried over for the following period.
Congratulations, George. It was a hard-fought campaign, but very clean.
I don't know if I'd say clean, but we tried. This is tricky. All right, moving on to the next matter before the commission, our reports. We have budget and expenditures. Our treasurer?
Hang on, I gotta find my mute button.
Okay.
This is Diane. It looks like we have 0 encumbrances for this period. We have an available budget of $7,215.06, having used 72% of the budget.
I'm running out of battery.
Okay, that means we have to hurry. Do you have a plug? Diane, did we lose you?
Yeah, I said what I was gonna say, that
All right,
I have an available budget of $7,215.06, which represents, we've used 72% of the budget.
all right. So do we have a motion to accept the report?
I don't think we usually motion that, do we?
You don't need one.
Nope, none required. Okay, well, we're trying to overdo it here. Wetlands agent report.
Marla Butt speaking. I do not have a written report that was given to you in advance. I will post a written, I will read from my report now, and I will post it in the book of wetlands agent reports when I return to the office. This is my report for May 12th, 2020 on the updates. The status of the court appeal on application IWA 15029 River Junction Estates LLC. That is case number AC 42644. That's the appellate court number. According to the Judicial Branch website, the appellate court heard arguments on March 3rd, 2020, and no decision has yet been rendered. Stay tuned. On the MS4 annual report and follow-up actions, I've been working with Kelly Jennis on the 2019 annual report and the new contracts for further mapping and sampling for discharges for the MS4 permit. That's been no change from last month. Regarding the pre-1990 file destruction plan, I've made absolutely no progress on this. For inspections and follow-up actions, on complaint 0201, it was a filling of standing water along Quatictown Farm Road at 497 Quatictown Farm Road. This is following up on my report in March. I have advised the Public Works Director, Rich Benoit, that a wetlands permit will likely be required to reconstruct the road and provide adequate drainage to support the roadbed. He is placing the project on his list of future projects. Additionally, he said the pull-off area, if you recall last month I told you, or in March I told you about this pull-off area that was built along the road, is not likely to require a separate driveway permit as long as the primary access is from the existing driveway. The property owners plan no further filling. I talked to one of the property owners. The area is not mapped as wetlands. I'll monitor the area to see if the standing water originally observed is a persistent feature or if it's just a reflection of a storm event, and determine what course of action, if any, is warranted given the roadway problems. Then I had a complaint, 20-03. It was a report of tree cutting within 100 feet of wetlands and watercourses along an abandoned railroad right-of-way that crosses Limehouse Road to LaPorte Road. The assessor's records do not show who owns the abandoned railroad right-of-way. Photographs supplied by the complainant showed trees cut on the embankment, and this was within 100 feet of a wetland and watercourse. I could not see the site from Limehouse Road, nor could I identify the identity of the individual or individuals who did the cutting. There were some suspicions as to who did the cutting, but nobody actually saw the cutting occurring. So I don't plan any follow-up action on this. Complaint 20-04. This is a report of tree cutting south of Sunset Pond on 21 Marcy Lane. The complainant supplied photographs of the cutting area. The home at 21 Marcy Lane could be seen in the photographs. Land records show that the property was purchased last year by John Plum. A letter was sent last week to Mr. Plum informing him of the Inland Wetlands Commission's authority of activities in the 100-foot upland review area. Mr. Plum contacted me by phone today and explained that the trees that he cut, he felt were a threat to his house. He understood that any earth-moving activities to remove the stumps may need approval by the commission. I'll photo document the conditions the next time I perform field work. Complaint 20-05. This is a report of dumping of pony manure in wetlands off of Hiawatha Drive. That's a drive on the west side of Quaddock Reservoir. The zoning enforcement officer has visited the site and has confirmed to me that manure has been placed in or along wetlands that drain to Quaddock Reservoir. This complaint requires an in-field inspection by me. It's an indication that this manure is coming from across the street with somebody who has ponies that may be on a property that's sized too small to have that kind of livestock. So it may be a zoning issue also. Complaint 20-06. This is a report of clear cutting of trees within the 100-foot upland review area at 208 Limehouse Road. I visited the site last Monday and I found very large pine trees had been cut in the backyard of 208 Limehouse Road, and slash along with some soil had been pushed to the wetlands edge. I spoke to Joseph Fagan, who lives at the property. He reported the trees were cut to reduce potential damage to his house, and that trees had fallen in the past. He reported a tree had fallen on the garage in the recent past, causing damage. He agreed that the slash and the associated fill can be pulled back from the wetlands edge and stabilized. He understands that he will be getting a notice of violation instructing him to do the same. That NOV is in the process of being issued. Regarding the building permits reviewed, I'm not going to identify them in detail other than there was a permit request for a sunroom and a patio cover roof at 108 Gowron Road. There was another request for a 20-foot by 16-foot shed, not in wetlands or watercourses, at 1291 Thompson Road. There was a request for a 100-foot by 200-foot riding area at 175 Hill Road. That was not in wetlands, watercourses, or upland review area. There was a request for constructing a single-family dwelling on lot number 4 for Heritage Circle, and that was not in wetlands, watercourses, or upland review area. And there was a request for at 22 Fabian Woodstock Road for a 12-foot by 24-foot pool shed. The shed is located in the 100-foot upland review area, but there is no grading and no construction proposed for this prefabricated shed. Under miscellaneous issues, posted, this involves the posted draft zoning regulations. On May 1st, I emailed Town Planner Tira Penn-Gasick a memo containing my comments on the draft zoning regs that have been posted on the town's website for public comment. Comments are due by May 15th. This was a time-consuming endeavor. In fact, my comments involved 7 pages of comments. Please contact me if you'd like me to email you a copy of my comments. And regarding purchase orders, there were 2 purchase orders paid, one for Stonebridge Press for LaJoy's application WAA 19017, and $44.10 to Stonebridge Press for the legal notice on the final decision on Scott Josie's cease and restore order. And that's it for my report.
Thank you very much for your report. Commissioners, any questions for the inland wetlands agent? All right, thank you. Are there any correspondence for the commission?
None to present to the commission at this time. There was something that came in, but I didn't post it on the web page, so I will bring it in at the next meeting.
All right, thank you.
It had to do with a. I'm done.
All right, signing of Mylars. I don't know how we do that, but do we have anything to sign?
No.
Comments by commissioners from near and far, all the way from Hawaii, or hey, Barb, she's hiding now.
No, I'm not hiding. I just unmuted. No,
Okay.
I'm still far away. Hopefully within the next week and a half, we will be able to get back. But otherwise, I think this format has worked very, very well considering conditions that we're in. So good job, all.
Mr. Obert, Commissioner Obert, any comments? No, I guess not. Fran, anything?
All set, thanks.
All right, Diane?
I'm all set, thank you.
All right, then. There are no comments by commissioners. If no other business before this commission, we don't need a motion to adjourn. We can just adjourn.
No, I need a motion.
We need a
No,
motion?
you do.
I have to motion it? Okay.
To adjourn.
I make a motion. Who wants to make a motion to adjourn?
I made it. Made a motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
It's Diane, I'll second it.
Okay. Motion made and seconded. No opposition. This meeting is adjourned at 8:31 p.m. on the 12th of May. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
This
you.
concludes the meeting.
Thank you.